All right, I need you to just stop for a second and think about this. Why are some people drawn to the darkest corners of our world? Not to sun-drenched beaches or bustling cityscapes, but to places soaked in tragedy, death, and human suffering. Why would anyone spend their hard-earned money, and sometimes even risk their lives, to visit a place where unspeakable horrors occurred? This, my friends, is the phenomenon of dark tourism. It's a growing trend, a macabre subset of travel where people intentionally seek out sites associated with death, disaster, suffering, or the truly macabre. We're talking about places like abandoned asylums whispering tales of torment, the chilling silence of former concentration camps, houses where brutal murders took place, or even disaster zones like Chernobyl. These aren't your typical vacation spots. They are monuments to human misery, places where the air often feels heavy with the echoes of the past. But why the draw? What is it about these grim locations that captivates us? The reasons are as complex and strange, dark and mysterious as the places themselves. For some, it's a profound sense of curiosity, a primal urge to witness, to understand, to stand where history's darkest moments unfolded. Others seek an adrenaline rush, a thrill that comes from confronting mortality or pushing the boundaries of their comfort zone. There's a morbid fascination, a desire to feel the presence of alleged ghosts or linger in places supposedly haunted by lingering spirits. And for many, it's a deeper, more solemn reason, a desire to connect with history, to pay respects, or to learn from the tragedies of the past. It's an attempt to grasp the unfathomable, to stand at the precipice of human darkness and perhaps understand ourselves a little better. This allure is often magnified by the very warnings meant to deter visitors. Do not enter signs, rusted fences, and whispered legends of terrifying incidents often only serve to heighten the appeal for thrill seekers. It promises an authentic, terrifying experience, a brush with the forbidden that feels unique and profound. But here's the chilling truth. While many dark tourists walk away with nothing more than a spine-tingling story or a somber reflection, for some, the line between morbid fascination and genuine peril tragically blurs. When curiosity overrides caution and the allure of the shadow becomes too strong, the consequences can be devastating, leading unsuspecting adventurers into unknown and sometimes inescapable dangers. And as we're about to see, sometimes seeking out the darkness means the darkness finds you. Among the most iconic destinations for dark tourists are old hotels, establishments with grand, decaying facades that whisper tales of bygone eras, hidden tragedies, and lingering spirits. These aren't just buildings, they're time capsules, each creaking floorboard and dusty curtain holding the weight of countless forgotten stories. And for some, the desire to experience these alleged hauntings firsthand becomes an obsession. Picture the Grand Bell Hotel, a fictional composite of many such real-world locations. Built in the late 1800s, it once boasted opulent ballrooms and lavish suites. But over the decades, its grandeur faded, replaced by rumors of sudden deaths, unexplainable disappearances, and the chilling presence of past residents who refused to check out. Room 313 in particular was notorious. Legends claimed a bride had died there on her wedding night, her spectral form still wandering the halls, weeping softly. This reputation was exactly what drew Sarah, a solo traveler from out of state, to its decaying elegance. Sarah wasn't a hardened paranormal investigator, but she was deeply fascinated by the supernatural and a keen urban explorer. She'd read every online forum, watched every documentary about the Grand Bell, and booked Room 313 specifically, hoping for an authentic, spine-tingling encounter. She arrived with a sense of excited trepidation, eager to capture something truly creepy on her phone. From the moment she stepped into the dimly lit lobby, the atmosphere was unsettling. The air felt heavy and cold, even in the dead of summer. The old elevator groaned as it ascended, seemingly stopping for no reason on floors where no one boarded. In her room, the antique furniture seemed to watch her, and shadows danced in her peripheral vision. She heard faint whispers, unexplained knocks on the wall, and the distinct sound of a woman crying from somewhere beyond her door, even though the hallway was empty. Her phone battery, fully charged, mysteriously drained to zero within minutes. The experience was everything she had hoped for, and more. But as the night wore on, the thrill morphed into genuine terror. the temperature in room 313 plummeted. The crying sound grew louder, closer, accompanied by what sounded like faint scratching from inside the closet. Sarah, now paralyzed with fear, frantically tried to turn on her phone, desperate to record what she was hearing, but it remained stubbornly dead. The doorknob to her room slowly, audibly, began to turn, even though she had locked it from the inside. What happened next remains shrouded in mystery. Sarah never checked out of the Grand Bell Hotel. Her belongings were found untouched in room 313, her bags unpacked, her keys still on the nightstand. The security cameras in the hallway, notoriously unreliable, showed nothing conclusive from that night. The staff, used to strange occurrences, were baffled. The police investigation found no signs of forced entry, no struggle, and absolutely no trace of Sarah. She had simply vanished into the eerie silence of the old hotel. Was it the ghost of the weeping bride finally claiming a new victim? Was it a human predator lurking in the hotel's forgotten corridors, taking advantage of its dark reputation? Or did Sarah, seeking out a thrill, stumble upon a truly strange, dark, and mysterious secret that the Grand Bell Hotel had guarded for decades, a secret that demanded her permanent silence? The answer, like the whispers in the empty halls, remains elusive. A chilling reminder that some haunted vacations end with a fate far more terrifying than a mere fright. Not all dark tourism is about ghosts and ghouls. Sometimes, the most truly strange, dark, and mysterious horrors are found in the tangible decay of places once filled with unimaginable suffering, like abandoned asylums. These sprawling, derelict institutions, with their peeling paint and echoing corridors, hold decades of grim history. Tales of experimental treatments, inmate abuse, and profound despair. Their very emptiness seems to vibrate with a chilling energy, making them irresistible to urban explorers and thrill seekers looking for an experience beyond the supernatural. Picture the Blackwood Sanatorium, another composite of numerous real-world abandoned facilities. Once a grand, imposing structure, Blackwood had been shuttered for nearly 50 years. Legends surrounding it spoke of lobotomies performed without consent, patients left to rot in solitary confinement, and desperate screams that still echoed in its forgotten wards. Its allure was precisely its desolation and the promise of encountering the raw, untamed remnants of human misery. This was what drew a group of 5 college friends, Liam, Chloe, Maya, Ben, and Sam, to Blackwood on a moonless Saturday night. Armed with flashlights, cameras, and a shared sense of youthful invincibility, they bypassed the rusted chain-link fence, ignoring the danger no entry signs. Their goal, adrenaline, incredible photos for social media, and the bragging rights of having explored a truly creepy and forbidden place. Their initial bravado slowly began to crack as they delved deeper into the asylum's labyrinthine interior. The air was thick with the scent of dust and decay. Every creak of the building, every scuttling sound, was magnified in the oppressive silence. They navigated collapsing staircases, dodged jagged shards of glass, and stepped carefully around gaping holes in the floor, the tangible dangers far more immediate than any alleged ghost. Then, the true horror began. As they explored the former isolation wing, a section particularly notorious for its grim past, they heard distinct human sounds, not ghostly wails, but hushed voices followed by the clink of metal. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, not a spectral patient, but a large, imposing man, carrying what looked like a crowbar. He wasn't alone. These weren't spirits, they were squatters, or perhaps worse, individuals using the asylum for their own illicit activities, who clearly didn't appreciate uninvited guests. Chaos erupted. The friends scattered, their flashlights cutting frantic arcs through the gloom. Liam, in his panic, missed a step, falling through a rotted floorboard and twisting his ankle, trapping him in a narrow, pitch-black crawl space below. The thrill instantly morphed into a desperate struggle for survival. They weren't just exploring a spooky building anymore. They were hunted, trapped, and gravely in danger from flesh and blood threats far more terrifying than any phantom. The isolation they had sought now became their enemy, cutting them off from help. They had sought out the strange, the dark, and the mysterious, but the real monsters weren't the ones in the legends. They were the ones living in the shadows, proving that sometimes the true terrors of these abandoned places come not from the departed, but from the living, reminding us that some shadows hide very real, very present dangers. Their thrilling night had become a desperate fight for survival, a chilling testament to when curiosity leads not to fright, but to true peril. Not all dark tourism is about ghostly encounters or decaying structures. For a distinct subset of thrill seekers, the ultimate dark destination is a place stained by real human horror, the infamous murder site. Whether it's the house where a family was brutally slain, the remote forest where a serial killer buried their victims, or the isolated compound of a notorious cult, these locations hold a grim allure. People are drawn to them, not necessarily by belief in ghosts, but by a morbid curiosity, a desire to feel the energy of immense suffering, or to somehow grasp the true scale of human evil. Consider the Blackwood Forest Trails, a fictional name for a place that mirrors many real-world, notorious locales. Years ago, these once peaceful trails became infamous after several young hikers vanished without a trace. Their disappearances later linked to a cunning, elusive serial killer who used the dense woods as his hunting ground. Despite the official warnings and the chilling local legends, the forest still drew visitors, not just hikers, but dark tourists, desperate to walk the very paths where terror once reigned. This was the draw for Chloe and Mark, a true crime-obsessed couple on a road trip. They saw themselves as amateur sleuths, and visiting the Blackwood Forest Trails wasn't just about hiking. It was about connecting with the dark history, perhaps even finding a hidden clue. They'd researched the killer, knew the victim's stories by heart, and felt an odd sense of reverence for the macabre. They ignored the faded caution signs, equipped with nothing but their phones and an unsettling eagerness to explore the site of such a profound tragedy. Their morbid curiosity, however, led them into unforeseen peril. As they ventured deeper than most casual visitors dared, following a barely visible, overgrown path rumored to be where one of the victims was last seen, they stumbled upon something truly disturbing. Not a ghost, but a freshly dug, shallow grave. It was crude, hastily covered, and clearly not ancient. A sickening dread washed over them. This wasn't a historical artifact, this was something current. The air, once just heavy with history, now felt thick with immediate, chilling danger. Before they could fully process their gruesome discovery, a figure emerged from the dense undergrowth. Not the historical killer, but a new, very real threat. A lone, disheveled man, holding a shovel, his eyes wide and panicked. Chloe and Mark had stumbled not upon the ghost of a dark past, but upon a very present, very dangerous secret. Their dark tourism had instantly morphed into a desperate struggle for survival. They were miles from help, deep within a notoriously isolated area, and now face to face with someone who clearly did not want his activities exposed. Their exploration of a place infamous for its past murders had led them directly to a potential new one. It was a terrifying testament to the fact that some places, even after decades, continue to harbor strange, dark, and mysterious dangers. Sometimes the most terrifying elements of a murder site aren't the lingering echoes of the dead, but the very real, very alive predators who choose to haunt them. Their innocent, albeit morbid curiosity had lured them onto the active hunting grounds of a new monster. Not every dark tourism story ends with a narrow escape or a chilling discovery. For some, the journey into the macabre leads to an ultimate, irreversible conclusion. They simply disappear, swallowed by the very darkness they so eagerly sought. These are the cases that linger, leaving behind desperate families, baffled investigators, and a haunting, unanswered question. What truly happened when their curiosity led them to their final, strange, dark, and mysterious destination? Consider the unsettling case of Sarah and David, a young, adventurous couple obsessed with urban legends and remote, unsettling places. Their dream dark tourism trip was to explore the infamous Whispering Pines ghost town, a genuinely abandoned mining settlement deep in the Arizona desert, notorious for its harsh conditions, its history of sudden disappearances, and local tales of restless spirits. Despite warnings about treacherous terrain and unmapped tunnels, they saw it as the ultimate challenge, a place where they could truly feel the raw, untamed essence of the eerie. They packed light, told a few friends their general destination, and set off, full of bravado and thrill-seeking excitement. They never returned. The frantic search began days later when they failed to check in. Authorities launched a massive, difficult operation in the unforgiving desert landscape. Search parties combed the sun-baked remnants of whispering pines and the surrounding treacherous canyons. They found their abandoned vehicle, parked on a dusty, rarely used trail, but no sign of Sarah or David. No struggle, no broken branches, no frantic calls for help, just an eerie, echoing silence. Investigators meticulously analyzed their last known steps. On Sarah's camera, found inside the vehicle, were dozens of photos. The decaying saloon, the rusted mining equipment, the crumbling cabins. The very last picture was the most unsettling. A grainy, ill-focused selfie of the couple, taken deep inside what appeared to be an unmapped mine shaft. Their faces lit by a single, weak headlamp, a faint, almost ethereal mist swirling behind them. Beyond that final image, nothing. The theories surrounding their disappearance were as varied as they were disturbing. Did they succumb to the environmental dangers of the harsh desert, dehydration, an unexpected flash flood, or a fatal fall into an unseen crevice? Did they encounter dangerous individuals using the isolated ghost town for illicit activities? Or, as some whisper, did the very darkness of Whispering Pines, with its legends of lost souls and its history of unexplained vanishings, truly consume them? Was there something genuinely unexplainable in that final misty photograph? For the families of Sarah and David, the torment is unending. They are trapped in an agonizing loop of not knowing, forever haunted by the last known location of their loved ones and the unsettling final image. Their search for adventure, for a brush with the macabre, ultimately led them to pay the ultimate price, swallowed whole by the very shadows they sought to explore. The phenomenon of dark tourism is a powerful testament to human curiosity, to our fascination with the limits of existence and the echoes of suffering. But as the stories of those who never returned chillingly remind us, some places hold secrets that are meant to stay buried. And sometimes, seeking out the darkness means the darkness finds you, taking more than just your curiosity, taking your very life, and leaving behind only an unsolved mystery.